Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Dirt, Grain, Steel. So this morning, it's Sunday morning. It's wet outside. Can't do anything outside. Grandma's having breakfast at like 10:30. I don't know why we couldn't have breakfast at 9, but anyways, I'm not going to argue with it because it's whatever Grandma wants to do. So anyways, we're going to get started on Project Dirty Peter. Like I said in the video when I introduced these two trucks, this truck has a 3306 Cat with a problem. So it's putting a profuse amount of oil into the exhaust system. Nothing's going in through the intake, so it's not coming out of the turbo on the intake side. It's coming definitely up through the turbo out of the engine. So that tells me that there's either a injector that went bad and it scored a piston and it's getting oil out of the crankcase, or there's a piston cracked or whatever. So what we're going to do this morning is we're going to get started on tearing this motor down. We're going to pull the head off so we can get a look at the cylinder walls and see what's going on in there. So I'm going to get started on this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. If there is a scored cylinder wall, this is a wet sleeve engine, so I could just change out that sleeve and that piston and just rebuild that hole. So we're going to get it tore down and see what we got going on. We'll pull the pan off. We'll look at the bearings, main bearings, rod bearings, see how bad it is. Like I said before, I do have another 3306 available, but I would like to keep this 3306 in this truck since this engine matches serial number and they've been together since '87. I don't know why. I could go the cheap route, just swap out motors, but I really want to keep this one. And there's that damn cat in the shop. Stupid cat. It's been meowing through the whole video. So anyways, I'm going to get started on this. This project is going to be an ongoing project. I can't swing doing it all at once, so it's going to be step by step, getting the bed done, getting tires and rims on it, getting it painted, and getting the engine work done. So I'm going to get started this morning. Well, so far I've got the intake tube off. I've got from the turbo to the charge air cooler, I've got the line off for that. And I got all that out of the way, and I made a discovery while I was in here. If you look, this injector is missing its keeper that holds it down the head. And the copper sealing ring is loose. And this injector is actually like, well, probably 3/8 to a 1/2 inch higher than what it's supposed to be. So it is actually lifted out of the head. So that could be some of our issue with the miss and hearing it not sounding right when it does run. But that still does not explain our oil in our exhaust. As you can see, there's a lot of oil in the exhaust, especially when it runs. And it's just nasty. So I'm going to get this turbo off out of the way, and I think I'm going to pull that injector line off and see if I can pull that injector out. And my goal is here to get it stripped down. I'll have to do the other side, get it stripped down so I can get this head off today. So the other side's pretty busy with the reservoir for the power steering, the ether assist, and the air compressor and stuff on that side. And we have to deal with the air conditioning because this truck is an air conditioned truck. So I'm hoping that that's all intact, which I think it is, and I can get the air working in this truck. And then I'll have to, of course, pull the alternator off and all the injector lines. So I'm going to keep working on this. Dad Strength wants to bring his little 424 International tractor here because we're going to overhaul it too. So I'm going to work on this for a few more minutes, then go load the Bobcat up on the Big Tex, head to his place, get the 424, bring it back, and then I'm going to get, well, by that time I'll have to go to Grandma's for breakfast. But after all that, I'm going to come back and get on this and get tearing and see what we can come up with today. So thanks for watching so far. If you like this, give me a like and subscribe if you want to follow this project. And thank you to the subscribers that I've gotten in the last couple days. really appreciate you guys for tuning into my channel. Hopefully you're enjoying everything so far, and there's a whole lot more to come. So thanks for watching. Okay, so we're back from Grandma's. We got her tables moved, had breakfast, whatever. So got back, I got the injector lines all off, decided I'm going to get this injector pulled out to see what's going on. So the injector's partway out, but I can't get it out by hand. It just won't come out. I've tried to pry on it. Can't get it popped up out of there. So I took an old injector line from my pulling truck, I cut it off, and I made this adapter for the slide hammer. So we're going to thread that on the injector, and then we are going to pull it out with the slide hammer. I'm going to put the camera up here so you can see what I'm doing. I can't hold both at once. Okay, so we got our slide hammer. Thread that in there. Oop. There we go. Let it cross thread a little bit. Thread that in tight. Okay, now we can pull that injector out, hopefully. Oh yeah, it's coming. Just about there. Oh, there it is. It's out. So we'll take it over the bench, have a look at it, see if we can determine if anything hit it or why it was pushed out of the head. So we got the injector over at the bench in the light so I can see what's going on. And as you can tell, the tip is gone. Something has hit it really hard. So I think I'm going to stick my bore scope down in the injector hole and see if I can see anything. And but I'm pretty sure the head's going to have to just come off. So would you get out of here, you mangy cat? The cat keeps making noise. But anyways, so I'm going to go get my bore scope, stick it down in there, and see what I can see. So I've got my bore scope. We're going to send it down the injector hole and see what we can see. I don't know if you can see that on my little screen here, but we're going down the injector hole right now. This is where the injector came out of. See if I can hold that for you. Well, the lighting's not the best. As you can see, that it looks like the surface of the moon is the top of the piston. So we got some issues down in there. I'm thinking that round right there, oh, we got low power. That round right there on the screen, I think that might be the valve head. I'm not sure yet. I've never seen one of these pistons out of this 3306, but I think that might be the valve. So I don't know. But this tells me right now I'm just going to go ahead and jerk the head off this 3306 and see what's going on in there, because this cannot obviously be repaired by, you know, what we're doing now. So okay, got a lot of work ahead of me getting this tore down, so I'm gonna get at it. I got all the stuff on that side of the motor I gotta pull off, take the fan all off, so I'm gonna be here the rest of the day. So anyways, stay tuned, things are about to get interesting. Well, now we're on the other side of the truck, and so far I've gotten the ether assist and the reservoir for the power steering pump off out of the way. I've been trying to keep stuff as much intact as possible. So I took the 4 bolts out of the whole bracket, laid it over to the side of the truck. I put a bolt back in to hold this cover on the intake here, just to keep stuff out of the head. Governor for the air compressor. Got it unbolted off the valve cover, just going to lay it over to the side. Now I'm working on the air conditioner pump. What I'm going to do is, I originally was going to leave the lines hooked up to it, but I checked for pressure and there's no pressure in it, so it needs recharged anyways and repaired. So what I'm going to do is just take the lines off, take the compressor completely off the head, get it off out of the way, I've still got to get the fan off, or the whole Horton fan clutch and fan brackets all off, and get the valve cover off, and then we can actually start on pulling head bolts out, and I think it should come off. I got to figure out what I got to do here up at the water pump. I got to figure out how that comes apart, but so far it's been going pretty easy. Everything's been coming apart real nice. I only ripped one hose. I'm going to have to replace a heater hose, but that's no big deal. Like I said, I would have liked to left the whole air conditioning system intact if it was pressurized, but being it's not pressurized, no big deal. Let's just tear it off, get it out of the way. And especially if I do an in-frame overhaul on this engine, the less stuff in the way, the better off we are. So, I'm going to keep tearing on this. I don't know if I'll get the head lifted off in this episode because my dad had to go in for the day. Him and Mom are going to go do some stuff. So he went in, and I don't know if it's something I should do by myself. Going to have to use the Bobcat to lift it off, of course. And getting in and out, not being able to see over the hood might be dangerous to pull the head off. So we'll see how far I get. If we get to the point where we pull the head off, we might back the blue truck out and bring the Bobcat in here, turn 90 degrees to the Pete, and lift the head off. But the only problem is the braces for the radiator are up here in the way, and I'll have to figure out how to get around those. I might be able to stick the forks in real low, chain it real low, pick it up, turn it, and bring it out the side. We'll see what happens. So I'm going to finish stripping this. Get the air conditioner pump off out of the way and work on that fan clutch and the fan hub and all that, and get to taking some head bolts out. So thanks for watching so far. Okay, so we got our air conditioner pump off out of the way, got the lines put up there out of the way, put all the lines up here. I'm trying to bring everything to this side of the truck as far as wiring, air lines, air conditioner lines, heater hoses, all that to this side. Going to keep that side of the truck clean, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to air the truck up. I'm going to roll it forward up to the overhead door and bring the Bobcat in 90 degrees to the side of the truck, lift the head off, and take it out that way on that side of the truck. So what I got left to do now is the fan clutch, fan pulleys, and this piece, which feeds from the water pump to the head and to the oil cooler right here. So I got to get this piece off yet. I've got all three bolts out. There's one here, one back here, one here, and one there. So I got those bolts out, and then there's a hose clamp here because there's a short connector hose. Got that off. There was an air line that went from here to the head. This is your intake for your air pump. I took that off, got that out of the way. I was going to leave part of it on the air pump, but I said to hell with it. You know where it stays, you'll know where it goes. It's shaped to fit there. I ended up just taking the air line off for the air governor, just to get it out of the way. So I'm pretty much, I've got all the, except one hose. I've got the air hose that feeds the fan clutch. I still got to get that off. But other than that, all the hoses are off this engine, and once I get that fan air hose off, I can pull this whole harness out and lay it out this side and get it out of the way. The blow-by tube, the reason I haven't taken it completely out is because this bolt is into an aluminum housing and it doesn't want to come out, and I'm afraid of breaking it off, so I'm going to leave that for now. Don't want to make any more work than I have. And like I said before in the video, the less stuff you have to take apart when you're doing something like this, the better off you are. So like the power steering stuff, I could have took all them lines off that reservoir, but then that would have drained the reservoir, and that would just made an oil mess on the floor, and I've already got antifreeze mess on the floor from this top water jacket still having water in it. So I'm going to pop this off real quick and see what we've got. I got me a pry bar. I'm just going to stick it in here between there and the block and pop it out of that. And there we go. It just fell down in the fan right here. No big deal. Okay. So we got that out. And now we can proceed with taking that fan hub off, which by getting this off, look at there, it opened us up right here to our two bolts on this side. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to wrap something around here and try to support it from the top radiator tank, because this is a very heavy top radiator tank. And part of that, yeah, it's all radiator tank. It's thick aluminum. So that'll be plenty to support this to get it up out of the way. So anyways, I'm going to get some more tools and get something to support this and get this off out of the way. So I got everything off, fans all off, just leaned it forward into the radiator, and it didn't hurt the radiator or anything. It's sitting on the shroud, so it's safe in there. Took valve cover bolts out, and now we're going to take the valve cover off and see what we got under here. We haven't had this off yet. So, oh boy. Oh. Well, that's not a good sign. Look where the push rod's at. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Well, we're going to be doing some further investigation. None of this is good. It dropped a valve is what it did. See? It's missing. Not in there. Oh boy. So we're going to continue to tear apart. So after a little more further investigation, there is quite a bit of metal in there. And by the way, this is the dirtiest motor I have ever seen. This thing is filthy inside. So I think I'm going to have to completely tear this down, have stuff hot tanked if I'm going to rebuild this one. But I couldn't tell you if valve spring keeper broke, or if the head broke off the valve, or what really exactly happened. I mean, if the head broke off the valve, it would still bounce around and the keepers would fall out and it would still lose the whole stem down in there. So, but I did discover we got a bent push rod on this side. This push rod's bent. We got all this metal material down in here. It's just, it's bad. So, Project Dirty Peter got a whole lot dirtier. So, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to buzz all the head bolts out, get the head off, and we'll take a look at that cylinder and see what that cylinder looks like and see what all the rest of them look like. If that valve stem did fail and the head of the valve broke off, what caused it is the question. Just old fatigue? Was there too much EGT, exhaust gas temperature, in that cylinder? Did that injector go bad and cause a lot of heat and break that valve stem off? We have no idea yet. So we're going to keep tearing and see if we can come up with a diagnosis on this engine, and we'll see at the end what we got. Well, we got some of the head bolts out, got the rocker arms all off, pulled out the bent push rod, and the other one's slightly bent. So I'm going to finish taking head bolts out, and then we might lift the head off yet tonight. So we'll see. Well, all the head bolts are all out. We used a Milwaukee impact, buzzed them out real quick, threw them in the bucket, and Dad and I got the head loose. It's just sitting on there. So now we're going to air the truck up, roll it forward, bring the Bobcat in, pick the head off, and see what we got. So I'm excited to see what went on in there. At this point, it's just exciting. I mean, there's no sense in being upset about it because we knew when we bought the truck it had a problem. So it's just a little more problem than what we thought it had. So we're going to get the head off and take a look. Well, Dad and I pulled the head off with Bobcat and made a discovery. The bore scope was right. That was the valve, one of the valves. Right there you can see the wrist pin. You can see all the way through the piston. It's destroyed. So, and one back is destroyed. So, this motor is trash right now. So let's go look at the head. The head is a real treat too. So the head's out here. And as you can see, both valves are missing out of it. The stem for that one's still in it. But this is all gone, beat out. It's junk. So at this point, I think we might just do a complete engine swap, because the head's not going to be original to the truck anyways at this point, so why should the block be? So we're going to clean up some tools and probably call it a day. But at least I can sleep tonight knowing that that it was junk, completely junk, and there's no fixing it. Oh look, I put the valve back in. So I wonder where the other valve went. It must have passed on through and into the oil pan.
It's in the exhaust probably.
So I wonder if that's why he told me there was rocks in the exhaust. It's valve pieces. So anyways, let's go take a look one more time in here. So Project Dirty Peter turned into a big dirty project. So, oh, Dad's bringing the light so we can really see what's going on. Oh, that's better. Yep, there's no saving it. I wonder what got into this one. What's this one look like? That one's so full of shit, you can't tell. But, yep, junk. I think we'll just engine swap it. We'll be done with it. Pull the hood off, pull the radiator out, unbolt it off the transmission, check the clutch while we're in there. Maybe instead of putting all the money into this motor to freshen it back up, we'll put a new clutch in it and stuff and spend the money elsewhere. So anyways, I guess you could say I've got a dirty Peter with a sick pussy. So anyways, thanks for watching. Greatly appreciate it. And I will see you on the next video.